Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We are here to qualify for the 20th race of the season in the 2025 Wawa Cup Series. We are excited for this one. This is going to be a very pivotal race in terms of this championship battle. And what we will see in 2 days' time, qualifying 2 days ahead of time on Saturday at noon Eastern Time, will very well determine who makes it into the chase and who does not. Of course, Quebec native Ludovic Charette, 93 points on that cut line, though she had the worst race she's had all season a couple nights ago at Gateway. She's still very much in a good position and could, in fact, clinch a spot into the chase tomorrow, 2 days from now. We've got ourselves the Grand Prix of Le Mans tomorrow in the Body Armor Pro Series. Hence why we're here today on a Thursday, so that we got something each day on the channel. We had qualifying on Monday night at Gateway, had the race Tuesday night, we had the Sprint Series here last night, we've got qualifying today, we got Le Mans tomorrow, we got this race on Saturday, and we're excited for it here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, especially for Ludovic's case. Regardless of the fact, we are excited for this race as we always are. 20th race of the season. Once we're done with this race, only 12 races remain in the Wawa Cup Series until we crown a champion at Darlington. And that cut line separated by absolutely nothing between Alex Amitali and Logan Williams. Avery Alford, 17 points off of that cut line. 20 points behind is Jack Haas. Tanner Parton, 28 points off of that cut line. So it's definitely growing. The gap is growing behind there, and Williams really the only driver at this point who's going to have a good shot at pointing his way back in. But here we are for Uncharted qualifying, and since we are on the road course, qualifying done a little differently than what we do on the ovals. We'll have ourselves a 10-minute session here for Uncharted qualifying, and then all 42 drivers who will qualify their way in to the Tim Hortons Canadian Grand Prix, they will go out on the racetrack all at the same time, and they will have a 10-minute session. The fastest 6 drivers from there will then go to the Fast 6, and then it'll be another 10-minute group session for the Fast 6. So no single car qualifying on the road courses, of course, and no groups either. So those who are in very interesting positions, maybe in those even positions, they can avoid getting stuck on that outside lane by virtue of the group that they are in and simply just qualify in an odd-numbered position. Of course, you got to do that first in order to have a shot at it. Let's go through the hot seat drivers here. Of course, the top 5 qualifiers here in Uncharted qualifying advance on, and the 6th highest driver, assuming that the highest hot seat driver is already in the top 5, which that has been the case all season long. You got Rashia Mahindra in the number 91 machine, trying to make their second start of the season in the 91. Of the hot seat cars, this one's actually been the one that's made the least amount of races, ironically. This is Evans Ross Racing, Kirsten Bell, Jack Haas, both in positions to make the chase right now. Their hot seat car over there has not had a good run. Who else we got here in terms of the hot seat? We got ourselves number 14 machine, and that is Campbell Marsh driving for Grattan Autosport. This car has made a lot of races this season. Next in line, in terms of the hot seats, you got the 42 of Chris Reynolds, who has actually made a few starts already this year. He's done pretty good in the hot seat. He's already made 3 starts and actually has a top 10 on the season. I believe that came in the Daytona 500, if I'm not mistaken. And then your last hot seater, the number 90. That is Keegan Thompson. One of the few Canadian drivers we've got in the series. Jack Haas as well. Ludovic Charette also in the field. Rashia Mahindra also from Canada. Evans Ross Racing as a whole, Canadian team. So a lot of Canadian flair here in the Wawa Cup Series, and a lot of international flair in the series as well. And a bit of an international weekend in terms of racing, though, of course, we are still in North America. And funny enough, even though I live in Pennsylvania, the closest Formula One Grand Prix to me is actually this one, the Canadian Grand Prix, which will actually be taking place this weekend here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Like I said, hopefully I'm pronouncing that better than I did last year. I'm trying, but my American mind cannot comprehend French, and I apologize. So, fastest driver right now is Campbell Marsh in the number 14. No surprise to see the Grattan car have a good run here in this qualifying session. Jared Martin is second quickest in the number 96. And you got Haley Anderson Jr. with the third fastest time here in this session. Darian Arnsdorf, Aaron Lukes, and then Keegan Thompson holding on to the last spot to race his way in. Zayden Davidson, who has made a majority of these races, 13 of the last 19. He's only missed 6 races so far this season, right now in 10th. Keegan Thompson has just moved up to second. Look at the hot seaters right here. First through third, all hot seat drivers. How about Arashi Mahendra going the second in the number 91 machine? Haley Anderson Jr. picking up the speed. We're going to see the speed pick up on the second and third lap here, get those tires worn out, or warmed up, I should say. But then as we move on throughout the session, get to the 4th, 5th laps of these runs, they're going to slow down quite a bit. Jared Martin has not made a start in a little bit of time here. Carson Miller just moved his way into the top 6, and now the 90. Keegan Thompson's on the outside looking in. Darian Arnsdorf has just gone to 5th. And not enough for Zayden Davidson to work his way into the top 6. It's going to be top 6 once again. See what Chris Reynolds does in the 42 machine. And no advancement for Chris Reynolds. Racing Motorsports struggling a little bit here on the road course, though I don't think Chris Reynolds has actually gotten a full fast lap in yet. You see he's about 3 seconds off right there. And again, you got a bit of a gap there. You got Campbell Marsh, 141.779, and then at the back of the field there, you got the 82 J.R. Ribbleton, nearly 2 seconds off. This is a long race course. Can't remember what the exact length is, though. Probably should check that. 2.2? Or this isn't 2.7, though, is it? I can't remember now. It's a 21 lap race. Yeah, this is a 2.7. Because Watkins Glen's 19. This is a 2.7 2-mile long road course, so it is a bit of a longer one. And of course, lap times, actually, this is the second longest lap in terms of the time. I think, well, it's about the same length as it is at Watkins Glen. This race right here, though, a lot more technical than the Watkins Glen. This and Coda, very more technical road courses compared to the higher speed Watkins Glen and Road America. So you definitely want to make sure you got a lot of speed in the corners, in the flat corners. Not a lot of elevation change. There is a little bit of elevation change, but not a lot. Very flat road course compared to Coda and Road America and Watkins Glen. Much more elevation change on those courses. Arnsdorf still third right there. Great run for the 11 machine. Great run for Grattan Autosport as a whole. And TRT was beaten on Tuesday night at Gateway when Duncan Ward got the race victory, and wild finish there. A lot of drivers near the end of that race coming down the pit lane, but more so drivers that were in the back of the field. Only driver top 10 that ended up coming down was Laura Chung, but then Thomas Troxel decided to take out Jack Haas, and that sent Jack Haas back, and I know that that's been a turmoil there at Evans Ross Racing coming in to this one. I know they want to rebound. Home country for both of those drivers there, Jack Haas and Echo Evans Ross. So Arnsdorf still in, and it looks like Jared Martin's still in. Dylan Matthews, she's found her way into the 6th position here in the Uncharted session by virtue of the hot seat drivers being ahead of her there. It looks like the 05 might have an opportunity at making, I believe, her 4th start of the season, and 2nd start in a row as well. She actually qualified her way in at Gateway, and looking to do so here at Montreal. But, oh no, Haley Anderson Jr. moved to the top of the board there in the number 92 machine. And keep in mind that Pacific Racing did win this race a year ago with their B driver, basically, in Chase Buck. I don't know if they particularly have a B driver this year. Both Troxel and Keys are very good drivers, though Keys has yet to go to victory lane. Blaine Keys was runner-up in this race a year ago and runner-up to the car that he is currently driving in. So that's a good combination for Blaine. We'll see where he ends up qualifying here today. Good run there for Haley Anderson Jr., though. She's had a solid effort in a lot of these races that she has qualified in. Is actually ahead of Jessie Turner in the championship standings by 7 points, and that's a full-timer that she's ahead of. She's only made 8 of the 19 starts. She's got to race her way in, but when she does, yeah, she does pretty well. 19.5 average finishing position She's got a better average finishing position than Nicholas Samedeo does. So that's impressive for a driver that is, though full-time in an uncharted ride, having to race her way in. Of course, the full-time uncharted drivers do have driver ratings that they put in each week. The hot seats do not. So that's why it's always a surprise to see the hot seat. Hence why there is that hot seat provisional as we anticipate later we get into the season. Though we're on race 20, and these guys have still yet to have to fall back on the hot seat provisional this year. Time's going to run out here in just a moment. One key thing to note about Saturday's race is that this will be a one-stop race here in Montreal, not a two-stopper like the rest of the road courses. And the fact of the matter is well, this track isn't perfect. We're going to see an extended pit stop on that one cycle that we will see on Saturday, so it'll probably be about a minute and a half that they'll be on the pit lane. We'll have to call it an IMSA stop. They have to have a minimum time on the pit lane to fuel up. And you know what? I think a lot of guys last week at Gateway would have appreciated that, because half the field had to come down right near the end there. Well, this should not be the case in Saturday's race here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Haley Anderson Jr., Campbell Marsh, Darian Arnsdorf, Jared Martin, Rashia Mahendra, and Dylan Matthews. That's the top 6 looking to race their way in here in Montreal. That's the top 6 who will race on Saturday in the Tim Hortons Canadian Grand Prix. We're going to have to see how it ends up shaking out here for Haley Anderson Jr. and all these guys when they join the 36 other drivers in this series looking to qualify for the pole. Getting to that Fast 6. Carson Miller, Keegan Thompson, Aaron Luke, Zayden Davison, J.R. Ribbleton, Eric Monaco, Johnson Jameson, and Chris Reynolds failed to qualify here for Montreal. Let's go ahead and get to the main qualifying session. All 42 drivers in one session for 10 minutes to see if they can make it into the Fast 6 and go for the pole here in Montreal. Let's see who gets it done here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. All right. Here we go. Main session, all 42 drivers. You're complaining about being in Group B, don't have to worry about it now. You just got to make sure you find yourself in a non-numbered position. Though this is a road course, it doesn't really matter as much whether you're inside or outside on a track such as this. But with that being said, you're going to have a very, very busy racetrack for the next 10 minutes as these 42 drivers try to race their way into the Fast 6 and have a good starting position. Of course, where you start on these road courses means quite a bit to how well you end up finishing. And a lot of these drivers are very well aware of that, and this is going to be, well, I don't know how we're going to keep track of it, but we'll see that leaderboard as it ticks around here. Going to be a lot of fun. Tuesday night was a lot of fun with Gateway, no doubt about it. That was a very unique race. Duncan Ward getting the race victory for the second time this season. But definitely some drivers who were not too happy, including Laura Chung, who still ended up with a decent finish. She is, if I do the math correctly right here, it's 93 minus 69. Hey Siri, what is 93 minus 69? Alright, so much for technology. I can do that math in my head though, and that number is in fact 24. So I'm not that dependent on technology. 24 points to the good for Laura Chung. So she's got to be careful. A lot of these guys, Crampton, Paulus, Ward, and Charette, I think they're fine unless something drastic happens, which, you know, we saw something drastic happen at Gateway to Ludovic Charette. But the rest of these drivers, Laura Chung, Isaac Nichols, who was second in the points going in to Gateway on Tuesday night, fell back after getting caught up in that accident with Ludovic Charette and Drew Webb. He's only 21 points ahead of the cutoff right now. Nathan Smith has kind of been around the cutoff a lot this season in the 06 machine, so I'm sure he's kind of happy with where he's at and the trajectory that he is going in at the moment. But he currently sits 7th in the championship standings and is 17 points ahead. Kirsten Bell only 11 points ahead. Blaine Keys is 4 points ahead, and that is the best that he has been the past couple of weeks in the 32 machine. Not sure where he is on the racetrack at the moment, but... oh, and somebody had an issue. I think it was Brian Webb, and Ledovic's right got into him, and right, once again, Ledovic's got damage, and she's got to get back to pit lane, get this thing back around if she's going to have a good starting position. And that is the one thing about all 42 cars being on the racetrack. Hence why at the ovals we split these guys up, because of things like this. And you know, once you know it, it's Drew Webb who's around her, and I know that she is not happy with Drew after what happened on Tuesday night. Both of these drivers finished dead last, 41st and 42nd respectively. And Ledovic, trying to win this regular season title, cannot afford another bad race, especially Duncan Ward being the driver that's chasing her. That 23 machine is looking to have a good season here and an opportunity at this championship. Nicholas Samedeo would love a win. And this is a bit of a wild card race. If Samedeo can have a shot at going to victory lane, he'd be a part of the wild card and could jump Andrew Miller in the standings to have an opportunity at getting that last wild card. There's Blaine Keys in the number 32. No one's gotten the full lap in yet. First driver who's going to get a full lap in is Rashia Mahendra in the number 91. So they'll cross the line right there. 142, Nathan Smith, a little bit slower. Andrew Miller has yet to get a full time in. Crampton's going to be third quickest right there in the 98 machine. Road courses may not necessarily be Crampton's strong suit, but just trying to salvage a good finish. That's what he's been doing. Only one win on the season for Crampton. That came at Homestead. Trying to do all he can to make sure he makes the chase and has an opportunity at this championship. He was very good in the chase last year and the string of races that we had. Rashia Mahendra still fast, of course, top six. Race on to the fast six. That's all you really need to worry about is top six, and otherwise you want to be starting top 10 for this race. You're going to have an opportunity to win it, I do believe. And Ledovic's going to get a new car out there, but she lost a lot of precious time because of that incident right there with Brian Webb and Drew Webb. Just get the Webbs away from her. Mahendra's still the fastest, but as I mentioned in uncharted qualifying, tend to see a lot of faster laps in the second and third laps of the runs. I'm not seeing the full field come through quite yet, though. I also have a couple guys who have yet to complete a full lap. They include Braden Perez, Bernardo de Oliveira, excuse me, Duncan Ward, and then, of course, Ledovic Charette. Thing is, with so much traffic on the racetrack, you got to make sure that you have a clean racetrack in front of you to get a good lap in right here. A couple guys ahead of Rashia Mahendra and Nathan Smith pulling down the pit lane. Mahendra still the quickest. But we got Nathan Smith going to the top of the board. These guys are going to prove their times right here. Not enough of an improvement there for the 98, though. The 97 is currently in that 6th position. Tanner Parton trying to point his way into the chase. And Parton's had a struggling year, or a struggling season the past couple of races. Matthew Hubert has just gone to the top of the board. Kirsten Bell has found her way inside the top 6. It's going to push Parton down to 10th. A lot of guys there in the line. Jack Haas is also all 3 of the Evans-Ross Racing cars in the Fast 6 right now. All very close to each other in time. Jack Haas there in 5th trying to rebound after what happened to him at Gateway. He won the pole for that race, but got taken out at the end by Thomas Troxel. Avery Alford the 2nd. Alford is trying to make the chase. He had a good run at Gateway, finished 3rd. A very strong run for Alford after he kind of did not make use of that pole position he got last week in Michigan. And now you got Jack Haas on the bubble with Daniel Paulus Jr. in 7th. Watch out for Paulus again, 4-time winner this season. And looking to get a 5th win. This would clear nearly all the boxes if he can get this win right here. But keep in mind, Ledovic Charette won the last 2 road course races of the season. GRT as a whole, actually Gradden Autosport specifically, has won the last 3 road course races in the Wawa Cup Series. Ledovic won Watkins Glen and Road America last year, and then Drew Webb won Coda earlier this season. Paul has just bumped his way into the Fast 6, and Jack Haas has fallen to 9th, and Paulus has the advantage of a clean racetrack ahead of him. Andrew Miller, another driver trying to make the chase. He does have a win under his belt, 7th right now. That's a good starting position. Crampton is 8th, great run for him. Jack Haas and Nicholas Samedeo in the top 10. Generally, a lot of the drivers we'd expect to have good lap times. The biggest surprise is Rashia Mahendra in a hot seat ride in 5th, trying to have an opportunity at the pole here at Montreal. Ludovic Charette is 38th. 38th for Ludovic Charette. That just changed, though. And she has found her way a little bit further up in 21st. So that's a lot better than 38th. As, again, my goodness. We'll get some radio chatter on that 51 the past couple of days, because that has happened way too often to the driver, the number 51. But 22nd, Isaac Nichols there in 21st. Couple of chasers right there. Laura Chung, 27th right now. I say chasers. They haven't made the chase quite yet. We expect them to make the chase, but we just have to see. Duncan Ward. Where's Duncan Ward at? How about Darian Arnsdorf going to the top of the board? Knocking Paulus out of the top 6. That's 2 uncharted rides. Currently inside the Fast 6 right now. Arnsdorf, Hubert, Alford, Nathan Smith, Kirsten Bell, and Rashia Mahendra looking to possibly go for the pole here in Montreal. And if that ends up being your Fast 6, we could very well have a very unique race on Saturday. Brian Webb hits the wall right there. Watch out for that. Blaine Keys, where's he at? Oh boy, 25th. That ain't it, Chief. Gonna fall back now, 26th. Ludovic is still 23rd right now. Duncan Ward in the 23. Oh, he didn't get a lap in. He's going to finally get one in right here. Duncan Ward crosses the line. No, he never got a lap in. Oh, brother, our last winner. Going to probably start in the last row. An issue on Duncan Ward here in qualifying. It's going to take him out of contention. Unless they count this lap right here. We'll see if that ends up being the case for him. I don't think they will, even though he did cross the line before the official time ran out. So he should have enough time to get back around and complete this lap. Logan Williams has just gone the second. How about that clutch move right at the end for the driver, the number 95. On the bubble there with Alex Samantali. Samantali's 21st right now. That could be a race-winning move for Logan Williams. If he happens to find himself up there, he's going to be in the Fast 6. He's not going to be bumped off from that. And Logan's got to be ecstatic about that. He actually rebounded from his misfortune to Gateway last time out a couple nights ago. Even though he had all that stuff that went on, he actually benefited from all those drivers coming out of the pit lane at the end. And that actually got him right on the nose, right on the cusp of making it in. Currently second here right now. Of course, the Fast 6 make it into the Fast 6 and go for the pole here in just a moment. Logan Williams looking to be one of those drivers. Tough break for Rashia Mahendra. Looks like she's going to start in the 7th position. Still a great run for the hot seat driver. And take a look and see. Kirsten Bell just moved up to 3rd, but that will not change. She makes it into the Fast 6. I think Kirsten's got a good shot at winning this race. She's got a quick car, got the win in North Wilkesboro, trying to solidify her spot into the Wawa Cup Series chase. She's going to have a great opportunity at doing so on Saturday. I think Logan's going to have maybe the best one. I need to watch what I say when I'm talking about the Williams brothers. Let me tell you that much. How about Ludovic? How about Ludovic at the buzzer? Right at the buzzer. Bumping her way into the Fast 6, and I know she's going to be happy about that one. Wow. Where did Duncan end up right there? Because that means that Duncan's going to get his time in 17th for Duncan Ward, so a little bit better. Blaine still back down to 28th. But Ludovic Charette has found her way in the Fast 6 late in the going here in Montreal qualifying. And wow, how about some magic here at her home racetrack. Right at the end, it's Darian Arnsdorf, Logan Williams, Kirsten Bell, Matthew Hubert, Ludovic Charette, and Avery Alford, who are going to make their way into the Fast 6 here from Montreal. Nathan Smith, Rashia Mahendra, they'll make up row number 4. Daniel Paulus Jr., Andrew Miller will make up row number 5. Travis Crampton and Jack Haas will make up row number 6. Isaac Nichols and Laura Chung will be in row number 7. Bernardo de Oliveira, Nicholas Samadillo in row 8. Duncan Ward, Christian Master in row 9. Philip Torres, Haley Anderson Jr. in row 10. LJ Semedo, Tanner Parton, that's row 11. Alex Amintali and Thomas Troxel in row 12. Brad Stover, Angel Gutierrez in row 13. Leonard Koshmer, Blaine Keys in row 14. Trey Bartow, Brain Perez in row 15. Brian Webb, Bryce Egan in row 16. Rogel Dorn, Bruno Diacmo in row 17. Jaron Martin, Dylan Matthews in row 18, Drew Webb and Zachary Fitzwater in row 19, Justin Zeidel, Jesse Turner in row 20, Campbell Marsh and Roberto Crown Jr. in row 21. Let's see who wins the pole here from Montreal. And it's going to be a very fascinating session, seeing Arnsdorf, Williams, Bell, Hubert, Charette, and Alford go after it here in a 10-minute session. See who starts on the pole position for the Tim Hortons Canadian Grand Prix here from Montreal. And here we go for the Fast Six. Couple of drivers in this session who have not had good seasons, like Matthew Hubert here in the 15. He's almost got the race victory at Martinsville. Almost said Montreal. He's not quite yet. He might have a chance at the race victory in Montreal on Saturday. Martinsville, that's where he almost got it. That side-by-side battle with his teammate, Daniel Paulos Jr. Of course, his teammate has won 4 times this season. And Hubert, well, he sits 23rd in the standings, and definitely not the run that he was hoping for this season, especially after last year being the best of the rest, best of the drivers who failed to make the chase. So we'll see what he ends up doing here at Montreal, and in this Fast Six session, see what he makes of it. Paulus' team is going to be starting 9th on Saturday, so great run for Paulus, and we'll see where that ends up landing him. Kirsten Bell in this session. No surprise to see Kirsten run well here on the road courses. She's really good at the road courses, and, well, I say that. Her 2 wins have been on speedways prior to this season, but I feel like this team in particular is wired very well for the short tracks and the road courses, and was evidenced pretty well by the fact that they had 3 of their drivers there at Evans Ross Racing inside the Fast Six at one point. Kirsten, the only one to make it on in the 93 machine. But Ladovic's right at the buzzer. How about that? She was like Tyrese Halliburton out there, getting it right at the end to make it into the Fast Six shootout. And now she's going to have an opportunity at her 4th pole of the season at her home racetrack. And I know she would absolutely love to get it, especially after the last 48 hours. It's definitely been a tough one for Ladovic in that regard. Montreal, or should I say, Gateway was not her friend in any way, shape, or form. Logan Williams. This is a driver who absolutely can use a good run to solidify his spot for his first ever chase run here in the Wawa Cup Series. And it's impressive that this is the season that Logan has the best opportunity at making the chase. He has done an excellent job. The past couple of races, just been bad luck. He has run well in both of those races at Michigan and at Gateway. He did manage to finish well at Gateway even after the bad luck that he had. But I know Logan and Caleb as well would love to see a good run here in Montreal, have an opportunity at making it into the chase for the first time in his career. And then you got Darian Arnsdorf, who's in this battle with Zane Davison in the uncharted points. And they are only separated by 13 points coming into this one. Zane Davison failed to qualify for this race, and Darian Arnsdorf in the Grattan 11 looking to possibly have a shot at the pole position. And how about Avery Alford, another driver kind of similar to Logan Williams, only 17 points off of the cutoff. A great run at Gateway on Tuesday night, trying to back that up with another great run here. He's been qualifying very well. And the teammate there, the Duncan Ward, who won at Gateway, Team Williams as a whole, has done an excellent job this season. Alford trying to have an opportunity at his first win of the year, and an opportunity at making the chase for the first time in his career. Matthew Huber will be the first driver to get a full lap in, and he's going to go to a 1:43.242. It's a little bit slower than some of the faster times that we have seen. Kirsten Bell and Ladovic will be the next 2 drivers to finish their first laps here in the Fast 6 shootout. And the number 93 machine going to come across the line right here. Kirsten Bell will go to the top of the board, 43.118. Ladovic's going to cross the line, and she's going to go 1:42.833. Great run for Ladovic. Charette right there. We'll see what Logan Williams can do across the line for the 95. And Logan is going to go 43.377. That's the slowest time so far. Darian Arnsdorf across the line to the top of the board. How about that? 1:42.785. And then Avery Alford goes third, 1:42.983. 8. So we'll see what the second lap times are for these drivers. I think we will see a little bit of change right here. Of course, normally we only get 1 lap here for these drivers when it comes to the Fast 6. These guys, they get a 10-minute session, they get an opportunity to get a second lap and a third lap in. And these drivers are going to use that to their advantage. Hubert, 5th quickest right now, and Logan Williams, the slowest of those drivers there. It kind of was the case for him at Michigan as well, and maybe not enough of that single car speed that he needs to really have an opportunity at it. But we'll see what Hubert ends up doing here on his second lap in the Fast 6 shootout. And coming across the line for Hubert in the number 15 machine. Will he improve his time? He will, 42.942. So we're going to see these drivers improve their times more than likely here along this second run. Kirsten Bell next in line in the 93. We'll see what she can pull off right here for Evans-Ross Racing. And across the line for Kirsten Bell, she is going to go 8.38. But Ledovic's going to take the top spot away from her teammate, Darian Armstrong, 42.364 for Ledovic Shred. Fastest time so far. Logan Williams trying to improve. Oh, he didn't even improve his last lap right there. Yikes. Darian Arnsdorf will also fail to improve his second lap, and Avery Alford will as well. So that might do it. We might see ourselves an all-Grattan front row, and a true all-Grattan front row. That's Ledovic Shred and Darian Arnsdorf looking to lock the front row here for the Tim Hortons Canadian Grand Prix. And Ledovic Shred looking to win the pole at her home racetrack. You know, this is going to be a fun one for her if she can pull it off. Still going to get a couple more laps in. We'll see what Hubert and these drivers have on this last lap. Both Alford and Kirsten Bell improved their times. As a matter of fact, the only two that did not improve their times, I think, were Arnsdorf and Logan Williams. We'll see what this 15 machine can do here. Matthew Hubert, excuse me, driving for Team Velocitar. Definitely been the second driver on that team this season, unfortunately. We'll see what he does right here. Oh, he just went to second. What a run there for Matthew Hubert, but that's probably going to mean that Bell and these guys behind him are going to improve their times. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Kirsten Bell coming around right here in the 93 machine. Will she go to the top of the board for Evans-Ross Racing? She's going to go to second, so Ledovic doesn't necessarily need to improve her time, which she's still going to do so anyway. 142.005 for Ledovic Shred. We'll see if Logan Williams has anything in this 95 machinery. Is he going to be a second off of our fastest driver? He improved up to fourth, 42.4748. Arnsdorf goes to second, 42.45. Alford, 400. Avery Alford looking to mix up the Grattan front row right there, and I think he's just done it. 42.400 for Avery Alford. Great run for him right there. Matthew Hubert, 5th quickest. And that sent Logan Williams back down to 6th. And Kirsten Bell here in the 93 machine, running 4th now on the leaderboard. Ledovic still with the fastest time. Logan Williams with the slowest time. Darian Arnsdorf with the 3rd quickest time. Avery Alford 2nd. See if Alford can have anything on this last lap. This will be the last lap that counts for these drivers right here. Time has officially run out, so they're going to let it run out for this session right here. No improvement on Hubert. I think the tire wear probably coming into effect at this point. Kind of kicked in at the fastest on lap 3. And that was really about it for these drivers in terms of what they were able to accomplish on these tires. We'll see if Kirsten Bell improves her time at all. Ooh, a little bit of improvement there. We'll see if Charette improves her time at all. No improvement on Charette's time. And Logan is just calling it a day. Or did he have a problem? Oh, his fuel system went bad. Oh, good thing that happened in qualifying and not in the race. Arnsdorf across the line. He goes to the second position. And Alfred got held up by Will Logan there, so that's not going to improve his time. And that is going to solidify, once again, a Grattan Autosport front row. So Ludovic Charette and Darian Arnsdorf looking to lead the field of the green flag for Saturday's Tim Hortons Canadian Grand Prix here from Montreal. These drivers will not get back around here. They'll give them a little bit more time, but I do not believe these lap times will end up counting as they cross the line after the official 10 minutes ran out. Matthew Hubert gonna look to start 5th, but it's Ludovic Charette in the 51. It will win the pole for the Tim Hortons Canadian Grand Prix here from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Great qualifying lap for Ludovic, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered after that miserable run at Gateway when she ran it to the back of her teammate. She had an opportunity at winning on Tuesday night. She's still going for her first win of the season. What a place it would be for her to get it if she could pull it off and keep the Grattan Autosport streak alive on these road courses. 3 straight wins on the road courses in the Wawa Cup Series for Grattan Autosport, and Grattan Autosport proper as well. So not GRT, Grattan Autosport. And that will, in fact, do it. What a session right there. That was a lot of fun to see that out of Ludovic Charette in the main round of qualifying, bumping her way in right at the end, and then she's going to go ahead and win the pole here from Montreal. Darian Arnsdorf alongside her there in row number 1. Avery Alford and Kirsten Bell in row number 2. Matthew Hubert and Logan Williams in row number 3. And then once again, it's Nathan Smith, Rashi Mahendra in row 4. Daniel Paulus Jr. and Andrew Miller in row 5. Travis Crampton and Jack Haas in row 6. Isaac Nichols, Laura Chung in row 7. Bernard de Oliveira, Nicholas Sambidio in row 8. Duncan Ward, Christian Master in row 9. Philip Torres, Haley Anderson Jr. in row 10. LJ Semedo, Tanner Pardon in row 11, Alex Samitali, Thomas Troxel in row 12, Brad Stover, Angel Gutierrez in row 13, Leonard Kochmer, Blaine Keys in row 14, Trey Bartow, Brain Perez in row 15, Brian Webb, Bryce Egan in row 16, Roland Orem, Bruno Diacomo in row 17, Jared Martin, Dylan Matthews in row 18, Drew Webb, Zachary Fitzwater in row 19, Justin Seidel, Jesse Turner in row 20, Campbell Marsh, and Roberto Crown Jr. in row 21. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Grand Prix of Le Mans in the Body Armor Pro Series, and then Saturday at noon Eastern Time, it's the Tim Hortons Canadian Grand Prix, race 20 of the season. Only 3 races left to go until the chase cutoff here in the Wawa Cup Series, and Ludovic Charette will lead the field of the green flag in her home race. It's going to be a lot of fun to see who gets it done on Saturday. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Ludovic Charette, and I will see you guys later.